from a Jehovah's Witness who died and returns with a shocking message from Jesus. John McAllister had always been certain of his faith. A devoted Jehovah's Witness from Glasgow, Scotland, he had spent decades preaching, knocking on doors, and studying the Bible with unwavering conviction. He believed he knew the truth until the day he died. It was a crisp autumn morning when John, aged 58, collapsed in his garden while trimming the hedges. His wife, Margaret, rushed to his side, but his lips had already turned blue. The ambulance arrived in minutes, but by the time they got him to the hospital, it was too late. The doctors pronounced him dead at 11:42 a.m. Margaret, devastated, called their congregation. The news spread fast among family and friends. But while they mourned, something unimaginable was happening beyond their sight. John McAllister was experiencing something he had never believed possible. John's consciousness did not fade into nothingness as he had always expected. Instead, he found himself in a vast, brilliant light, unlike anything he had ever seen. It wasn't blinding, yet it illuminated everything with a warmth that filled him with indescribable peace. He felt weightless, as though he was floating, but before he could grasp what was happening, he saw a figure approaching him. It was a man, strong, radiant, and clothed in a white robe. John immediately recognized him. It was Jesus. But how could this be? John had been taught that Jesus was not to be worshipped, that he was not Almighty God, and that there was no conscious existence after death. Yet here he was, alive, fully aware, and standing in front of the very one he had spent his life preaching about in a different way. John trembled as Jesus looked into his eyes. He had never known such love, such overwhelming power, yet such gentleness. Then Jesus spoke. "John, you were wrong about me." John's heart pounded. "Wrong? But I followed Jehovah. I taught people the truth." Jesus replied, "You preached about the Father, but you did not know me. I and the Father are one. Without me, no one comes to the Father." John's mind reeled. He had spent his entire life rejecting the idea that Jesus was divine in the same way as Jehovah. But now the truth stood before him. It wasn't just a doctrine, it was real. Jesus continued, "You told people that only 144,000 would be with me in heaven. But look around you, John." For the first time, John noticed countless souls surrounding him. Men, women, children, people of every nation and time period. They shone with a light similar to Christ's, filled with unspeakable joy. "These are the ones who believed in me," Jesus said. "Not by works, not by an organization, but by faith in my sacrifice. You taught people that my resurrection only granted them a second chance on earth. But John, I died so that they might live with me forever. You never truly knew me." Tears streamed down John's face. He had spent his entire life believing one thing, only to realize he had missed the